Man, it's late in the night, but I wanted to talk some boxing. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk. First of all, let's talk about people talking about GGG facing Canelo as the next possible opponent for Canelo. I've heard Eddie Hearn saying something like that. I heard different people saying that. First of all, if you really paid attention to Canelo, what he said to GGG, he said, get a belt, become a world champion, and then you can face me. I think Canelo, in my opinion, is looking at going at um, Demetrius Andrade. That's what I think he's going to go at. It makes sense to me because Demetrius Andrade has a belt. Now, a lot of people think that Canelo won't go after Demetrius Andrade. I even heard people, haters especially, hyping up Demetrius Andrade as the guy that can beat Canelo, and to me, that's really funny. But you know, I don't think GGG deserves a Canelo fight this year because he's not faced anybody. And two, if Canelo's looking for belts right now to unify and make history, because he's talking about everything to make history, then it makes sense that he would go after Demetrius Andrade. GGG should have gone after Demetrius Andrade, in my opinion. If he had beaten Demetrius Andrade, he would have made a case for him deserving a Canelo fight this year. So in my personal opinion, if you ask me as a fan of Canelo, I would prefer if he faced Demetrius Andrade and just clean up the top guys in the division. Danny Jacobs, I think, is a better boxer than Demetrius Andrade. He has a lot more tools and stuff. He is orthodox. Demetrius Andrade is southpaw. Danny Jacobs did have some success when he went southpaw against Canelo. Some people are saying he didn't, but he did. He got some clear shots on Canelo at first. Some lead left, on Canelo. Because Canelo wasn't shelling up and blocking his defense properly against the southpaw, and then he made an adjustment, and then that southpaw stance didn't work for Canelo anymore. So I'm just saying that Demetrius Andrade looked at that and he was like, "Yeah, man, I could do this." As you can see, Danny Jacobs, as much as he is supposed to be this athletic fighter and he can move around the ring a lot and stuff, had to stay in the pocket against Canelo a lot because Canelo started hitting him with the hip shots, the body shots, and that slowed down Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs started engaging with him. I noticed that Danny Jacobs did pretty well in the middle rounds, the middle to late rounds. He did pretty well against Canelo. But as we could see, again, Canelo just responded, came back, and took back over the fight. So he changed the momentum of the fight as he saw fit. Some people say they see fatigue in Canelo. Yeah, he wasn't as crisp in some of the later rounds. I don't know why anyone like this, guys. I'm sorry about the yawn. But by and large, I guess that makes him more people want to face him. Remember, Canelo's not a bona fide, full-fledged middleweight. He's only been at middleweight now for 2 fights. When you think about it, he's only been at middleweight for 2 fights. He did go up to super middleweight and stop Rocky Fielding, so you got to give him his credit for that. But he hasn't really been in full-fledged middleweight, but only for 2 fights. I mean, he did jump up and face Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. at 164. So if you want it above middleweight or middleweight, bona fide middleweight, I think above 160 pounds or up 160 pounds, about 4 fights. But when you think about it, he's not, he's now, of course, he's acclimatized as a middleweight and he's done his thing, but it's just one of those things where I think a lot of people are sort of not realizing what Canelo has done. And when he faced Danny Jacobs in that fight, he had a bad leg. He had a bad left leg, a bad knee. He had to do surgery after the knee, and he still beat Danny Jacobs. Think about what I'm just saying here. All right. I would like you guys to check out Coach Eric Bradley, the Fight Doctor. Master Boxing is the name of the channel. Please go check out that channel. It really teaches you real stuff on boxing, the nitty gritties and stuff. And also subscribe to Master Boxing. I'm going to do that once I get my debit card and I can be able to purchase things online. I'm going to definitely join Master Boxing. I'm really interested in doing more boxing. Shout out to the Boxing Voice and all the people on the Boxing Voice who actually implement boxing and start doing boxing and have boxing tournaments. Now, with respect to the upcoming fights, you have Jamel Charlo versus Tony Harrison, a rematch. That's going to be a good fight over the weekend. I believe there's some other fights over the weekend I want to talk about, but for now, we're just going to wrap it up like that. I didn't talk about BBF and how he successfully defended his title, but we will talk about that stuff where we can, okay? I see you guys on my channel. I think I have over 920 subscribers. I need to have 1,000 subscribers to actually do a live stream with you guys. So the sooner we can do that, the better. I am using a phone. The other thing is, I destroyed my laptop. The other thing is that I want to be able to join Hangouts. I still have to see if I can join Hangouts on this phone. That will give me more mobility. I'll be able to move around and do more things. So I just wanted to leave this with you guys. Canelo. Oh, they talked about a possible fight with Canelo versus Errol Spence Jr. I think that it's too premature, as you guys know right now. Errol Spence Jr. just jumping up to 160 and facing Canelo is not a sensible thing. Besides that, he has a lot of welterweights that he faced. He should move up nice and smooth, take his time. You don't have to pull that Mikey Garcia nonsense. Mikey Garcia talking about a rematch with Errol Spence. That's interesting as well. He's saying he's going to stay at welterweight. I guess he's making up his mind to stay at that division. I think he hangs very well with everybody else, like Danny Garcia. The two Garcias will do well, fare well. They'll lose some, win some, but they're going to hold their own, and it's going to be good fights. With respect to Lomachenko versus Mikey Garcia, of course, Mikey Garcia would have wanted that fight, but it looks like that possibility is almost a none. It's not going to happen, okay, because of Bob Arum. So, at the end of the day, this is what we're looking at. All the potential matchups, Anthony Joshua with Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, and so on and so on and so on. That round robin, that looks like that's going to be on hold for a little while. 2019, though, is still going to be an exciting year in boxing. You see how much good fights are coming up. There's some upcoming really good fights coming up, and some sleepers also that a lot of people are not considering. Sean Porter versus Errol Spence Jr. now been finalized for August 3rd, so we're looking forward to that, as well as several other fights that I would like to talk to you guys about, but I'll do that in another video. On that note, I hope you guys have a great day, a great night. This is pretty late in the night for me to be shooting this video, but I had to get this video out. You guys have a good one. Peace.